Yikes. Instant karma for the instant simping. Get him out of here. Seemed like everything was going okay in the beginning, but in the end, trouble.
I'm a kind of worker. I make that kind of content, and I get asked all the time, oh my god, aren't you worried about finding a boyfriend, a husband? Because the job that you do, no one's gonna want to date you. I don't care.
If you do not care about attracting another person into your life, that's your prerogative. You do you. This goes for men and for women. If you are not putting in any effort whatsoever to become more attractive to the opposite gender, don't be surprised when you have bad relationships and no one wants to keep you around.
With men who are the bag, with men who are ambitious, with men who are purpose and goal driven, productive, competitive, successful men, they're not going to come home and negotiate power with me. I lead, you follow. I have all the responsibility. I make a world to where you can sit down and I take care of everything, but you have to be under my authority. And what that means is you have to trust in the fact that I know what I'm doing, to where I'm not going to have you nag me 50 million times. A high value woman is attractive and appealing. She has a comforting character. She's discerning and disciplined. She's enthusiastic and exuberant. She's loyal and liberated. That's the definition of a high value woman.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay. Do you think dating gets easier for you as you age?
Oh my God, no. Actually, no. It seems the opposite. In high school, it was so easy. Dude, when you get older and you move to a new town or wherever, and only people you see is at work and the grocery store, you're like, how do I meet people?
How do you feel about sex before marriage?
Yes, but if you're in a relationship, for me at least.
Okay.
I'm at a stage now where I want more commitment and someone serious rather than just someone just gonna hit it and quit it. Not a fan of that anymore.
This is something I think a lot of women just don't realize today, that eventually their options just completely run out. Right out of the gate, when women start to date, they immediately have a ton of options. And then as they get older, those options dwindle. And this is something you'll see pretty often when people come from a position of power. You'll see this with monopolies, you'll see this in business, empires, athletes. When someone comes from a position of power, they think they will always have that power. This is not true. These things happen in cycles. No one will be the top dog forever. That's just the way the world works. It's what you do with that power while you have it that will define you.
If your average man is treated better by women overseas, why do men prefer to stay here and play the game when the odds are so heavily stacked against them?
Well, I think it's because it's what they know, and the thing that the United States has going for it is that the money's all here. So we all have to make a living and support ourselves and our lifestyles. So that's the reason, because you end up missing our culture we grew up in when you live in another country. But I'll tell you what, it's such a different feeling when you're in another country, how great you get treated as a man.
Humans today are exceptionally lazy and sedated. So even if they want to leave and find a better woman elsewhere, you're too lazy to do anything about it, and you just sit there, never taking action to do anything to improve their lives. This is why most men will stay broke and miserable.
Logan, what the f is wrong with you?
Look, she's just a friend. She's just a friend.
That doesn't make any... Then why are you hiding her?
She's cold.
So the whole concept of this is she wants to get married, and then she realizes all of the wifely duties that she's going to have to do, and then she doesn't want to get married. So she wants to be a bride, but she doesn't want to be a wife. Red flag, dude. You didn't miss out on much.
Beautiful, but when I hang out with younger guys, there's something missing. They're visually nice to like take in through my eyeballs, but they just don't have the like weight that a man who's been through it. I thought of this the other day. It was like, it's like I'm attracted to the fact that a man in my age range is a little bit dead inside. And I find that very sexy, because if you've really lived your life, even if you've had a fantastic life, then you've had your heart broken, you've dealt with health stuff, you've been through the ups and downs financially, you've had your heart crushed once, if not twice, you've aging parents. I mean, you've been through life, and that's sexy.
This is true. Women in general will find an older man more attractive because of the life experience, being that battle-hard, gristled man, put through the ringer of life. And if you've done a good job as a man, as you get older, your confidence and your competence will skyrocket. Women always want the man that's better than them in everything, and it's hard for her to look up to you when you're beneath her. So as women age and they get all these life experiences, their dating pool starts to shrink more and more and more. But men, however, don't have this problem. Most men would pick the hot 20-year-old that has no life experience whatsoever.
Dumb men listen to what women say, smart men watch what women do. Actions are the only true indicator of what women actually want. And it cannot be idealistic when it comes to female nature. Otherwise, you will get burned. You have to deal with raw, hard truth, whether you like it or not.
And I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, you're also putting down the women from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought up in a Western culture. Because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving, and you would not be single.
Get dunked on. Can we get some air horns in the chat, please? Thank you. Women that hate on passport bros, a lot of the times it seems like they see foreign women as lesser women, lesser than their Western counterparts. They come from a poorer country and they see them as uneducated. They're not real women because they're not an independent boss queen like me. It's a completely ignorant belief to have. A lot of Western women speak multiple languages. They are educated and they know their role in society.
You like seafood? The best fresh seafood in Thailand or Siam?
It's not Yalla Habibi come to Dubai anymore. It's more like Malelo come to Thailand.
These keys are too small. I can't do this.
Maybe your fingers are too fat.
Maybe you're too fat.
Men with no hoes. Where are you? What are you doing?
They're on their purpose, my dude. Grinding through their 20s, getting their money up, getting their muscles up, all this stuff. Good job, my bros. Don't focus on the focus on the purpose. My man, I want to see a million TikToks exactly like this, okay?